Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So it's finally sunny. You know, the weather broke. It's been a month of just gray, cloudy, gloomy, but it is windy, so I apologize if it interferes with the sound. But today I wanted to kind of show some of the options that we have. Yeah, some of the options that we're using. How about that? For sleeping when we go overlanding and camping. And I'm not saying you have to do what we do or any of that. I just want to show like some of the things that we have and why I have multiple tents, basically, because we're tent camping the whole time. But as you can see above me, I have a rooftop tent now on the bed rack. Wow, that's a loud bird. So we just got it, haven't even used it yet. I'm really excited to try it out. But I wanted to show my other tents because they're also very awesome options, but everything has a little bit different setup and tear down, and that can really change the outcome of your trip. We had a great time when we were in Alabama, but it was kind of a lot to set up and tear down the ground tent, because you have to set up the tent, get your bedding in there, your cot, air mattress, sleeping bag, blankets, pillows, whatever you're using, and then tear it all out, suck the air out. So I ended up getting the rooftop tent up here, and that is a Wildfinder that I got off of Amazon. Like I said, we haven't used it yet, but I'm pretty excited to try it out. I went off of, if you're not following all things overlanding on YouTube, check him out. Jason Fletcher, local Hoosier, or a fellow Hoosier, good dude, and he has a lot of information out there. So he has a video showcasing this tent, and I basically used that, because rooftop tents are pricey. Anything good is pricey, but rooftop tents can get a little outrageous. So what are you really getting for your money? And this being a hard shell wedge style, which is what I was after, it checked a lot of boxes, and it was affordable for what it is. But I'm going to show you in real time setting up each tent, and I guess tear down. No, I'm not going to tear them down because I want to let them air out and stuff. It's sunny. They've been in the bags since we got back from Alabama. I think I did set it up in the driveway and let it air out. But we took both of them, and we only used the one single. So I'll show you setting up each of those tents in real time so you can see how long it takes. They're not terrible, but there is a difference between all of them, especially with the ease of use. So just hang on and I'll get set up. All right, so this tent right here, it's the Gazelle T8. I've got neighbors mowing and stuff, but I've got my mic on, so it should work out all right. So the Gazelle T8 Overland Edition, it's actually, I've got it in 2 bags, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but I've got the footprint for it. So you set the footprint out, you pop your tent out on the footprint, then you stake it all down. So I'll go through that. I don't want to mess with the rain fly. Maybe, we'll see. But so it's in 2 bags, so it will take me longer to set this up than the T4, but we'll get to that. Now, I say it'll take longer because, like I said, it's in 2 bags. So, however you carry your tent on top of your truck or in the bed or however it is, that'll, if you have to get it down, that'll add to your own time. But, and this T8, it's not super light, but it's also not a small tent. I love it, but it's not always necessary. We took it to Alabama, didn't even use it. I took both, the T8 and the T4, and I know that's overkill, it's dumb, but we stayed overnight in the same place once. So I thought, you know, maybe we'll want the bigger tent when we were on Dolphin Island, and we didn't, because we didn't need it. It's nice to have the extra room sometimes when you're base camping, but we didn't need it. All right, so they call it a footprint, and it's basically a tarp you put down under your tent. I know some Coleman tents and stuff like that, people put a tarp down. But these Overland Edition Gazelles come with their own tarp, you know, a footprint. Oh. Okay. Hopefully, I'm staying in the shot. That's the rain fly. Here's the tent, and I tell you what's funny, it never fails. Whenever I open this up, I never do it the direction I intend for it to be facing. These hub style tents, you just set them out and start popping walls, and that's it. I actually got it set the direction I wanted. First time and on camera. Then you go inside, pop the top. Bob's your uncle, there you have it. That's all it is. So for a tent this size, I'm pretty sure you can agree, it's pretty effortless. And then you just stake her down. Gazelle has these all-terrain stakes, nice bent one, that are super simple to push in and take out, which is nice. Now, there's more places to stake it down. So the rain fly goes over top, you just throw it over top, you stick it in the holes, then you pop the top. Super simple though. You get the idea. Here, let's take a walk through. Be like MTV Cribs, right? This is where the magic happens. So they have these D-shaped doors. And then it's two 4-man tents, basically. It's 8 foot by 8 foot. Hey, there's my flashlight I've been looking for. Nice. So, you know, there's lots of windows and whatnot. These are great tents. I love them to death. Especially, like I said, for the ease of use. Open all the windows up. And then it has this wall in between that you can zip down. So when it was cold and we were using the diesel heater, we could zip that closed and keep the heat just in the one side where the bed was. And it worked out pretty awesome, actually. I don't think they consider these a 4-season tent. I'm not 100% sure. Flip that around. There we go. They may be a 4-season tent. I've slept in them like low 20s with a diesel heater, and they do a pretty good job. So you can see that the roof's all open, but with the rain fly that goes over top, it holds heat in decent. But so you see, like, one person to set this tent up, very easy. Not fairly, it's very easy. And And tear down is the exact opposite. You unstake it, you pop in the walls, wrap it up, and you put it in a bag. It's not, my phone's blowing up. It's probably Dewey, she's at work. Probably hating life right now. Just, but anyway, it's not awful, but it is a lot, if that makes sense, to do every day. It's, gosh, when you're on a week-long trip and you're a different place every night, it is a lot to set up a tent like that and tear down. Like I said, there's no bedding or anything in there yet. You still have to take everything out of the truck, put it in the tent, and then you take it all out of the tent, put it in the truck. And we were, like all of our bedding, we had those vacuum bags and was sucking the air out. So to do that every day, it takes the vacation out of the vacation. It takes the fun out of the vacation. But like when we go, say, Overland to Red or an event and we are base camping, it's perfect. If you're setting up camp and you come back to camp every day, it can't be beat for that aspect. It's kind of like taking a trailer. You know, anybody that has a camper trailer, the convenience of that, you know, it's the same thing. So now I'll do the same thing with the T4. All right, so that's the T8 in all its glory. This is the T4. Notice how much lighter and smaller it is? It's literally half of that. It's just the one cube. And this is just an excuse for me to get my tents out and air them out, you know, so thanks for coming along. But it is quicker than setting up the T8, but it's the same process. So this is what we used in Alabama every night because it didn't take up as much room and we didn't need everything, like I said. Sometimes it's nice having the other room that you're not using as a bedroom, you can use as a bathroom maybe. If you have it's upside down. If you have a portable camp toilet, which we do, I have set it up in the other room. You know, it's if you're by yourself, what's it matter? Or even if you're dispersed, how about that? When I first got this tent, so I got this used Facebook Marketplace, or no, I think it was a group. It was an overlanding group, but still, you know, Marketplace is a great place to find stuff. But I think when I got this, it was right after I got back from Wyoming with Cottywomple Overland. I went for 2 weeks out there and had my buddy Kelly pick this up for me, and then I came home and went and got it from him. But that next weekend, me and Brody took it to the local state park. It was Versailles State Park, and there was a tornado rolled through that first night. That was a first. And you know, I'm not going to say the tornado was right on top of us, but it was pretty close, and it was really windy, and the tent held up just fine. I never was worried about the tent. Limbs above us I was worried about, but the tent was fine. And we'll give you a little tour inside of this one. Not that it's anything you haven't seen. Like I said, it's literally just half of the other tent. So a queen size bed fits in here with room around it. We actually found out when we were in Alabama that if we put the bed in here diagonal, that we fit we had more room on the corners, like on the sides. So if you're interested in one of these tents, I think they claim they sleep 4, and you could put 4 people in here. But I have been in here with Brody with cots. The 2 of us were each on a cot. That was a bit much. But then also, while we were in Alabama this last trip, I had a queen size cot that had its own air mattress, and it's big. It's not always, I don't know, it works, but it kind of sucks, if that makes sense. I'm getting stakes out because I don't want it to blow away. Like I said, it is kind of breezy today. So just shove a couple of stakes in the ground. So, like I said, I've also done, sorry, you're right in my, I got you right up in me. I've done like the big Coleman from Walmart, the queen size air mattress. It's like 2.5, 3 feet thick, if you've seen those. I did that for a while, and those tend to lose air through the night, and that kind of sucks when you're sleeping, and then you have to put air in it every day. I keep putting you right up in my face. I apologize for that. Video quality of this is going to be great, but I mean, there you have it. There's that tent, and it's roomy. You can stand up and get dressed, and when you have to get up and pee in the middle of the night, you know, it's easy to get out and do that. But now I'm going to show you what we're going to be using this next time. All right, so with this Wildfinder clamshell, we pull in, get the truck level, you know, so I have to pull in. I've got blocks and stuff, so you park level, and then to set up the tent, set up camp. Well, tent's up. Now there are these spring rods for the rainfly. Now see, I didn't even put the rainfly on those, so that would have been extra time. Yeah, literally that was the tent. Tent's up. Bedding's in here. It's ready to go. So if you weren't running the rainfly or didn't need to worry about it, say if you're in the desert or something, I don't know. I'm probably always going to use it. I don't know why you wouldn't. And I've noticed with some of these spring clips, or the spring rods, you do kind of have to watch. When I first time setting it up, I was leaning out the side, pulling on that spring, and I was waiting for it to spring me right out the window. They're not bad. Just pay attention, watch what you're doing. Oh, I've got this rolled down the screen, but tent's up, it's ready to go. It does have these shoe bags, which is pretty cool. They're not the best quality, but, or I should say, like it has this way to slide them in here. It's not terrible. Like I said, I'm not talking against it, but then, so you got a bag that you can hang here. So you climb up the ladder, sit here, drop your shoes in the bag. That way you don't put your shoes in the tent. Because if you notice, those tents are full of dirt and sand and stuff because you're walking in them. You don't want that. So you don't bring your shoes into this tent. So there is one last step, and it's the ladder. And it's going to live up there while we're not in it. I've noticed, yeah, we'll go ahead and set it up here. I don't really like having it down to the tailgate here. What I'll do most of the time, because I don't like the angle. It's not steep enough. You're supposed to have, there's a sticker right here. You're supposed to have a certain angle. So if I'm when I get down, if I end up falling, yeah, it's my fault. But it's good. So like I said, haven't actually used it yet. So we'll work out the bugs. But flip you around. All right, so I got my little step off to the side on the tailgate. And here we go. So this is the side door curtain, you know, it's zips up. There is a 2-inch, they say it's 2-inch, it looks a little thicker, it looks like 2.5-inch foam mattress that everybody gets rid of immediately with rooftop tents because it's just foam, memory foam. It's not the best, you know, so a foam filled air mattress, which we have. So I'll probably get rid of this mattress and put that in it, which will add a step of filling it with air when we get to camp. So we'll see. It does have an anti-condensation mat underneath of it, which is nice for water and moisture. Another shoe bag right here. That's the bag for the spring rods. But it's aluminum hard shell. It's got an insulated roof. So the clear panel right there, you can drop an iPad or your phone or whatever, and you can watch TVs and stuff when you're at night laying in here. And there's little pockets on the side for extra stuff, storage. Up here in the top up here, you see that USB cable hanging down. There's an LED light strip up there. So it has all this stuff. This net is driving me crazy. I need to tie it up. But it has all this stuff that's always up here. So you put your pillows up here, your blankets, you just leave that stuff up here. So you get to camp, you pop this up, and you can come up here and sleep within 10 minutes. You're not even 10 minutes. Be asleep in 10 minutes, you know what I mean? From setting up camp. It's just so much nicer. I don't know, I cannot wait to use this thing. I've slept in a rooftop tent before, and it was not the wedge style like this. It was an iCamper that flipped over sideways. It was a hard shell. And it tilted over toward the driver's side, and then you grabbed the ladder and folded the floor out and then went out to the passenger side, and it was a big tent, you know. It would sleep, you could sleep almost 4 people across that. It'd be tight. Definitely 3. Like an adult and 2 kids for sure. I'm gonna get down without trying to kill myself here. Yeah. But it wasn't terrible, but it was kind of work, you know. This wedge style is so much less work, and we've already laid up there, both of us side by side. We're like, wow, this actually does have some room. I'll find out. Like I said, haven't used it yet, but I anticipate being very happy with it. They've got some newer style wedge tents where the back here, up here, actually folds out some and gives you more headroom. Those are pretty cool. I like that. But like I said, this was the most inexpensive hard shell rooftop tent that I believe is out there. So it doesn't have the bump out, but that's about the only feature it does not have. But I just kind of wanted to show like my options for sleeping. Bedding's a whole nother, that'd be a whole nother video. So this is just a tent video. These are my 3 options to use when I go camping, and I love all 3, honestly. And they all 3 have their pros and cons. The rooftop tent, if you have to pee in the middle of the night, and then you have to come down the ladder, or what most everybody does is take a Gatorade bottle with you up in a tent. And I'll probably go that route. I don't know what Dewey's going to have to do. We'll work something out for her, because convenience is key. But these are our options, and like I said, I love all three of them. None of them are super cheap. You don't have to have this kind of stuff, but they are convenient in their own way. And anytime you can add convenience to a trip, that's one less fight you have to have, right? If everybody's happy, if you're not frustrated because this isn't working or you've got to do all this stuff and fights start, we don't want that. You know what? I forgot something. We do have one last option I want to show you. Now the reason I bring this up is because it's always on the truck. But this awning, you could sleep under. Too many straps. Too many straps. So, if you have an awning like this, and if you have the walls, which I do, nope, wrong end, daggone it. Yeah. So I have the wall kit for this. Now it's only a 180 awning. But the wall kit takes it down to the ground and closes in this whole side. Now the back's open, but I actually have a moonshade awning that can cover it too down to the ground. And I know what you're saying. Well, so we put the legs down and everything, you know, prop it up. It's hanging a little low. But I can hear you now, but it's open underneath and bugs and whatnot. But if you're camping in a spot where there aren't bugs and you don't need that, I've seen ads that it seems like a new trend is awning tents where it's walls and a floor. Now this one you can't have a floor, but there are awnings that have walls, 4 walls and a floor. So then you could put your cot and your bed or however you plan on sleeping in that. So it's another option, really. And like I said, I love having options. What's the right one? I don't know. It's different for each scenario, really. Each location. Depends on what you're doing, where you're going. But yeah. Tell me what you think. Is it overkill? Am I just dumb for having so many tents? I don't know. Tell me what you think. I don't know. I like having, like I said, I like being able to pick and choose per scenario, really. Gosh, it's getting breezy out there, people. So, like always, like, share, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. Leave a comment. If you're not following the Bonsai Burger Experience on Facebook, check that out. That's where we'll be putting a lot of our stuff. What do you think of the shirt? I don't have merch for sale yet, but it's coming. And like I said, I think we need more Hawaiian shirts. What do you think? But give me your thoughts. What do you think of the setup? What's your preferred way to camp? You know, leave a comment. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.